Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to my dear respected students, brothers and sisters alike. I hope that you are all in the best of health and iman. Brother Muhammad is here as per usual, and in this video today, inshallah, I will be covering the test preview for the pre-intermediate book, okay, which will look like that. Okay, I hope you can see it's just right there. Yeah, and this will also be focusing on unit number 4, which will look like that. Okay, from the book. So if you guys remember from the unit, okay, this unit is going to be focusing on the subject of quantity. Okay, quantity. So I think quantity in the Arabic language, I think they'll say al-kamiyatu, I think al-kamiyya. So quantity, how to quantify things. Okay, so when I say, I have this many, I have this much, so it's understanding the use of these particular words that we use to help us uh, measure quantity. Okay, guys. So here, so the quantity that I'm talking about, this is the main word. I'll show it to you, which is quantity. All right. So the quantity, how do we measure it? Okay, how do we measure it? So we have a number of words that we can use to do that, from talking about a small amount to even large amounts. Okay, and to do that today, we're going to do a quick revision on that subject. Okay, before I show you the actual test for unit number 4. Okay, and as per usual, I will help you guys to answer a few of the questions, okay, but not all. Okay, guys. All right. So for now, I'm gonna switch over to my spreadsheet, and I'll show you sorry, spreadsheet. Yeah. So that was not. I apologize, not spreadsheet. My not the presentation tool that is available from Oxford University Press, and this is a nice PowerPoint presentation that gives you guys an overview of the use of quantity. Okay, so let me switch over now. Bear with me. Just go over here. Okay, let me just minimize everything, and I am going to now switch over, and hopefully now you should see my screen. Okay, so I'm going to open up the PowerPoint presentation now, and hopefully this will be visible. Okay, let me just close that and put it into presentation mode. Right, there you go. So now you see everything. Oh, actually, I just realized this is the wrong file. Let me open the correct file. My apologies. This is the one. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And here we are. Okay. So here we have on the top. Actually, before I do that, let me just make sure I put my yellow mouse. My yellow mouse highlighter. Where are you? In fact, how do I do that? If I remember correctly, the yellow mouse highlighter, is it this one? I think. It will be a useful tool to have, but it doesn't appear to have started yet. So apologies there for the bit of a delay here. Hopefully I can find what I am looking for. Right now, it's not showing me anything, so I can't really use my mouse highlighter. It's actually a very, very, very useful tool. I'm not sure, is it this button? No, it's not that, and it's not that either. All right, I think I might have to oh, actually, here we go. I think this is the file here. Let me just double click. Oh, there we go. It's here. Excellent. It's my little ray of sunshine. let's go back to the presentation tool, which is this one here. Okay, so now when thinking about the use of quantity, if you remember, we're quantifying what? We're quantifying nouns. Okay, guys, nouns. And nouns come in two flavors, right? Either they can be countable, so I can say 1, 2, 3, I can give it a number, okay? Or they can also be uncountable. يعني in Arabic we say يعني the opposite العكس, you know, ما ترد, okay? يعني you know, you can't يعني count it, okay? Like sugar, water, milk, etc. Okay, so let's read this sentence. So it is important to understand the difference between count and uncountable nouns. So here's a table. It's going to show you two sides. One of them has a singular. Here we have, currently we have a singular, a biscuit, a boy, a carrot, and a book. Okay, and on this side we have something, we have tea, pasta, homework, and meat. Okay, laham, meat. Okay, I apologize for my other viewers. I will be biased towards my Arabic speaking students. Okay, so anyway, so one side is going to be countable nouns and the other side is going to be uncountable nouns. Okay, you probably can have a guess which one that is. Okay, so let's reveal it. So the left side is countable because here we have a singular. So singular nouns, okay? Singular. A biscuit, a boy, a carrot, a book, okay? And here we have uncountable nouns, okay? So they can't be plural, okay? So they can only be singular here. So, and this is uncountable. Okay, so just to remind you, so countable nouns, they can be both, okay, singular or plural, many, okay? And how do we normally write the plural? Okay, so for example, a biscuit, okay, we have, that's one. To make it two, we say, we drop the A and we say, we add an S, biscuits. Boy becomes S, boys. Carrot with an S, carrots. And finally, book with an S, books. Okay, but I can't do an S with an uncountable noun. Okay, so I cannot say I have two T's. Okay, that's incorrect. I cannot say I have two pastas. All right, so all of those we do not use an S. Okay, guys. So, and of course, here we have an example. We can say two books. All right, so we can add an S with the countable noun. Okay, and here so we can count it. However, with the uncountable noun, okay, that can only be the singular. We cannot use S. Okay, so here we cannot say two meats. That's incorrect. Okay, so we cannot count them. That's the basic difference, guys. So let's move on to some of the examples here. So much and many. When do we use much and when do we use many? Okay, so one of them, of course, we use it with uncountable, and the other we use it with countable. Okay, so let's have a look. So we can use much with uncountable nouns and in questions and in negatives too. Okay, so we can use that. Let's have a look. So here we have a question. How much? So, and if you notice, the noun we're using is rice, and rice is uncountable. Okay, you can't, you can only use much with rice. Okay, so how much rice? And then if you notice, the verb is also singular, is. How much rice is there? Okay, and the negative, again, we use the singular verb is. There isn't, with the negative not, much milk. There isn't much milk. Okay, good. Now with the countable nouns, we use many. Okay, we use many, and we can also use it in questions and negatives too. Okay, let's have a look at some examples. Here we can say, how many sisters? Now if you see the noun sisters, we have an S. Okay, so we know sister is a countable noun. Okay, and normally we write it like that. So how many sisters do you have? And the negative, I don't have many books. Okay, so here we're saying I don't, negative, I don't have many books, and many goes with the countable noun books. Okay, good. So usually much and many, okay, we use it quite commonly for questions and negatives. However, we can use it when we talk about positive things, but as we say in the English language, it's not usual. It's not something that you would use regularly. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to make this sentence into a positive sentence, I can say there is much milk, but it's not usual to say that. Okay, guys. Or here, I have many books on eBay. Okay, so again, it's not it's correct, but not usual. All right, guys. Good. So here's an exercise for us to practice quickly. Here we have, here we have how, and then we have the noun money. So first thing we have to decide, is the word money countable or uncountable? Okay, so we know that money is not something, I mean, we can count the currency. I have $1, $2, $3, $4, right? But money as a subject, we can't count it. So we should say how much. We use the word much for that. The next one here we have there isn't. And here's a clue, by the way. If here we have the word isn't. Okay. Okay. And here we have the noun time. Can I count time? Can I say 1 time, 2 times, 3 times in the subject of time? Okay. No. Again, I have to use much. All right. And finally, here we have a plural verb, aren't, and we have the noun pairs. If you noticed, by the way, pairs is showing an S. So this one is a countable noun. Okay, this is a countable noun. So here we use many. Okay, there aren't many pairs. Good, excellent. Let's move on to the next quantity words. Here we have some and any. Okay, so when do we use some and when can we use any? All right, so let's have a look at the word with some. So some is usually, we use it for positive sentences. Okay, guys, positive. All right, here's an example. I need some salt. Okay, so here you notice salt is uncountable. Okay, let's look at another example. Let's look at the next one. Actually, I'll tell you about another example later. But here we can say I need some salt. Now, some is so it's like a little amount. We're not talking about a lot. It's not a lot. Okay, and any, by the way, we use it always with questions and negatives. Okay, guys, questions and negatives. So let's look at a question and a negative. Here, the negative is I didn't eat any pudding. Didn't any. Okay, and the question we use here, do you have any money? Okay, so the question here, any money. All right, so remember, some we use it for positive sentences, and any we use it with the negative as well as the question. Okay, now the good thing about some, okay, we can use it with questions, but usually in a certain situation. Okay, so the situations are when you request for something. In Arabic we say when you تطلب يعني طلب شيء when you request something, or when you offer. when we say in Arabic offer, when we kind of say تبغى تعطي أحد شيء, تعطي أحد شيء, ممكن يبغى شاهي تعطيهم شاي. So if you want them to give them tea, or you want to offer them tea. Okay, so how does that look like? Okay, so here is some in a question. If you noticed, we're using would here, an example. This is a modal verb. Okay, so this modal verb is expressing something. Here we're expressing an offer. So here they say, would you like some water? So here we're using some in a question, but with the word would. Or we have another one that says can. Okay, here we are requesting, can I have some coffee? Okay, would you like some water, or can I have some coffee? Okay, so just remember, when it comes to some, the word some in questions, just remember these words. Would, we usually use them with would and can. Okay, guys, just something to remember. Good. So the rules are the same as well when we use compound words. So compound words, when we put two words together. Okay, so here we have someone, anything, anybody, somewhere. So the rule is, if you use the word some here, if you have the word some in the word someone, then we use that in the positive sentence. And if you have words like anything, anybody, okay, like anything, anybody, again, because we have the word any, we should think about using that in the question and the negative form. Okay, good. Here's an example. Here's an example with using someone, anything, anybody, somewhere. So here we have, I've got, okay, I've got what? I've got what? Something to tell you. I think we can say something. Okay, something. So we're talking about this is a positive sentence. I have got something. So we use the some, but then we have to decide, are we talking about someone? Are we talking about something? Okay, or somewhere, a place. Here we're talking about something which is the information, معلومات, information. Okay, good. Here we have a negative. If you notice here, the next one, there isn't, and then to do. So what we're going to use any. So we have to decide, should I say anything? There isn't anything to do. There isn't anyone or anywhere. So we're talking about something, right? We're talking about action. So there isn't anything to do. And the last one, if you notice, we have the word would. Okay, remember, if you see a would, then we're going to use some. Okay, so here we're going to say, would you like something to eat? Would you like something to eat? So if you notice, it follows the same rule. The first one is a positive sentence, so we're using the word some. Okay, and the next one is a negative, so we're using the word any. And finally, we have a question with would, so we use some. Okay, excellent. Now we're going to look at a few and a little. Okay, so when do we use a few and when do we use a little? Again, deciding if it's going to be countable or uncountable. Okay, guys, so let's have a look. So we can use a few with what? Countable nouns. Okay, countable nouns. Let's look at an example. I have a few, and here's the countable noun, photos, okay, of my trip, but not many. All right, so this is the example of a few. And when we use a little, you can imagine it's going to be the opposite, al-aks, with uncountable nouns. Okay, guys? Uncountable nouns. And then the example we have is, we have a little, and the uncountable noun is money. Okay, so we only have a little money left. Okay, guys? Good. Now let's try some exercises here. Here, let's have a look. Now, number one is a question. Do you have, okay, and then we're going to have the word minutes. So minutes, this is countable, right? 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So we're going to say, do you have a few minutes? Okay, a few minutes. The next one, I have only got something homework. Now homework, if you remember, is not countable. So here we're going to use a little. I've only got a little homework. Okay. The next one, number 3, there are something crisps. Now crisps got an S, so this is countable, it's plural. Okay. So here we'll say there are a few crisps left. Okay. Crisps left. Finally, here we have chocolate. Okay. Now chocolate is usually, it's uncountable. So here it says, I'd like a little chocolate. Little. Okay, not a few, a little. Okay, guys? Good. Excellent. Lastly, we're going to look at the use of a lot and lots of. Both the same thing. You can use a lot or you can say lots of. Okay? So when do we use it? We can actually, the good thing and the good news here is that lots and lots of, we can use it for both countable and uncountable. And if you remember the word some and the word any, okay, same thing. Both of these, we can use it for both countable and uncountable, like a lot and lots of. Okay, so let's have an example. He has lots of questions. So this is an countable noun, questions. Okay, here we have, they've got a lot of money, and this is an uncountable noun. Okay, good. So we can also use it in the question and negative forms as well. Here's an example. Are there lots of shops? So here we have shops, which is a countable noun, in the town center. Okay. There isn't a lot of sugar. This is a negative, and this time we're using sugar, and sugar is uncountable. Okay, but there's enough. Good. Let's try the exercises here. Okay, let's write the sentences using either a lot of or a little. Okay, so let's choose the correct option. Here we say there are, and then the noun is children. Okay, so children, all right, we know is countable. We can't use a little. A little, we can only use it with uncountable. So the best answer is there are a lot of children in the garden. Okay, a lot of. Number 2, here we say I eat, the verb I eat. So here we can say lots of or a little fruit. Okay. Okay, so here we have the main noun fruit. Now fruit is is uncountable. Okay. Okay. Now technically we can sort of use both of them. Okay, but let's decide which one by reading the next sentence. Here it says I don't like it. So if they don't like it, which means they eat a little, right? So we're going to say I eat a little fruit, not much. Okay. Finally, number 3, here we have we only have a little or a few friends, and this is the noun. The noun is friends, and friends is countable. Okay, guys, it's countable. So here we're going to use a few. Okay, so we only have a few friends here. All right, excellent. Hopefully that concludes the summary. Now I'm going to go straight away and look at the test in question. Okay, so the test that we're going to be looking at is the pre-intermediate level 4. Okay, and here we're going to have 3 sections in total. 3 sections. Okay, and there's going to be total of how many questions? Let me just make it a bit bigger. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, there we go. Here we have a total of 35 questions. Okay, so not a lot. However, I did say earlier, I will help you with some of them. Okay, but not all of them. All right, guys. So let's show you. Let me show you the actual test. What that looks like. Let's do the preview. Okay, so as before, when you open the test, okay, and this is for my students, okay, everybody else can just follow along. You write your name, of course, in Arabic, okay. So my name is Muhammad Hussein, so I'm going to write mine in Arabic, which is Mim Ha Mim Dal Muhammad, and then Hussein. Okay, there you go. And your employee number is your employee number. In my example, I'm just going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so let's look at the first section. Okay, the first section of the test. Here we go. Right, so the first section here says select the correct words in each sentence. So now you have to choose the correct word. So here's an example that I've used. Here we have much and many. So we have to decide to choose much or many. And then the subject is money. So we know that money is uncountable. So we use much. So the correct answer is how much money have you got? Okay, guys. So let's see how many questions we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10. So I might help you guys with about 4 or 5 questions here. Okay. The first one. This is, by the way, this is a contraction or contraction of I would. Okay, remember guys, I would. So if you have would, we should use, and this is a positive question, we should use I would like or I'd like some sugar. Okay, I'd like some sugar. I would like some sugar. All right, now here we have a question, and have you got, and the noun is time. So the time, is it countable or is it uncountable? You should know by now, guys, right? I hope you do. So we know that time is uncountable. So we're going to use, have you got a little time? Okay, a little time. The next question is, we use a question here. Now remember, we have can, like before, we used would. Okay, if you have would and the words can, okay, then we should use some. So the question now reads, can you give me some cake? This is somebody requesting. يعني يطلب شيء. يعني ممكن تعطيني كيكة من فضلك. Okay? Can you give me some cake, please? Good. The next one here, we have a positive sentence. Okay? This is not a negative, and this is not a question. So here it says, he's got anything or something. Remember, this is a positive. So we're going to say he's got something for you. He's got something for you. وعنده شيء. No, he's عنده شيء. He has something for you. Good. Let's do one more. Okay. Here we have a question starting with how. Okay. And the noun is students. That's quite easy, guys. This is a countable noun. So we should say how many students are in your class. Okay, that's it for section 1. The rest is yours. We're going to go ahead into section number 2. So number 2, what do we have to do? Section 2, it says complete the sentences using, now you have to choose some or any, much or many, a few or a little, a lot, okay? Or we have a compound word with a thing, a where, or a one. Okay, so let's have a look at the example first. So how many questions we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. MashaAllah, we have 16 questions in section number 2. So inshallah, I'll help you, inshallah, with quite a few, 6 or 8, inshallah. So here's an example. Here we have there are, and then we have new students in my class. So the correct answer here would say there are some new students in my class. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Here we have a question. Okay, if it's a question, a normal question, is there, and then we have a uncountable, doesn't matter, we use any, right? Remember, any, we can use it for both countable or uncountable. Okay, and we use any for questions and negatives. So is there any tea? That's the first one. The next one, this is a negative. I don't think there is. Okay, this is a negative. So we're going to say any. Remember, negative and questions, we use any. I don't think there is any chocolate. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, here it says we need, and then fruit. This is a positive, right? So the positive, we're going to say some. Remember, some, we use it for, mostly for positive sentences. So we need some fruit. Okay, guys, we need some fruit. Good. Next one, we have a question. We have how, and then something, and then we have brothers. Brothers. This is a countable noun, right, guys? So countable, we use many. How many brothers have you got? Okay, how many brothers have you got? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we answered 4 so far. Let's go to number 5. Here we have another question. Okay, here we have how. Okay, and then were your jeans? Okay, so here we're talking about, you know, the price. Okay, the price. So we ask about the price. We say, how much were your jeans? How much? Not how many were your jeans. No, how much were your jeans? Okay, and jeans is uncountable. Okay, we can't say 3 jeans, 4 jeans, 4 to 5 jeans. That's wrong. So jeans is uncountable as well. So we must use much. All right. Let's next one, number 6. Here we have a question. Were there something people? Okay. So straight away, guys, people, is it countable or is it uncountable? Of course, people is countable. Okay, we can count. So the correct answer here is, were there many people in the cinema? Okay, in the cinema. So 1, 2, 3. How many did I answer now so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'll answer 2 more. Okay, here we have 50 pence isn't. So this is talking about the actual coin, British coin, 50 pence. Okay, for a cup of coffee. And if you noticed, we're using the word isn't here. So usually if you see isn't, you should think about the uncountable. So we can say 50 pence isn't much. Okay, 50 pence, okay, isn't much for a cup of coffee. Okay, not isn't any, you know, we should have any with a noun straight away. For example, there isn't any cake, there isn't any coffee. Okay, not there isn't any for. That will be incorrect. Okay, and the last one I help you guys is this one. Here we have there is or there's, and then the noun is milk. Okay, so milk is uncountable, right? All right, and here it says in the fridge, but not much. So meaning there's a little. Okay, there's a little milk in the fridge, but not much. Good. Let's move on to the last section, and the remaining questions are for you to do by yourself. Okay, the last section is going to be quite easy. You have 3 paragraphs. Okay, and each paragraph in section 3 is talking about a place. So the first one here is talking about Carnaby Street. Okay, so Carnaby Street, I'm going to use the abbreviation يعني اختصار CS. The next one is talking about Oxford Street, so I'm going to use the OS as the initials. Okay, and the last one is Camden Market, and the initials will be CM. So Carnaby Street, the initials CS, Oxford Street, initials OS, and finally Camden Market, and the initials CM. Okay, so the idea is this: you have to read each one and choose the correct story. So here, for example, it says was Madi in the past, was fashionable 60 years ago. So which place was fashionable? Was it Camden Market? Was it Oxford Street? Or was it Carnaby Street? To find out, you must read. So I'll give you one example. Here it says Carnaby Street was, here we go, was a famous London street in the 1960s. So was, not today, it's not today, it's not anymore, but in the past it was. So the correct answer is Carnaby Street. So Carnaby Street is the initials CS. Okay, so you have to make sure that you read each information and then answer each of the questions after that. Okay, guys? Good. That pretty much concludes my video for today. Okay, so I thank you guys very much for your patience. I will share the PowerPoint presentation for your reference. And once I publish this video and you will see it, I will also start sharing the tests to my students, inshallah. All right, guys, thank you very much for your time. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.